Hi, my name is Stephen Sindoni. Thank you for tuning into the broadcast of This War Will Not Be Televised. In today's program, I will put the spotlight on S.1867, which was recently passed by the United States Senate. The story can be found on pacalertpress.com. The slide you are now viewing is the pacalertpress.com website. The headline reads, "The entire United States is now a war zone." S.1867 passes the Senate with massive support. The article was written by Madison Rupert. Mr. Rupert's story begins with the words written, "End the lie." I now quote Madison Rupert. "This is one of the most tragic events I have written about since establishing End the Lie over 8 months ago. The horrendous bill that would turn all of America into a battlefield and subject American citizens to indefinite military detention without charge or trial has passed the Senate. To make matters even worse, only 7 of our so-called representatives voted against the bill, proving once and for all, if anyone had any doubt remaining, that our government does not work for us in any way, shape, or form." S.1867, or the National Defense Authorization Act, NDAA, for the fiscal year of 2012 passed with a resounding 93-7 vote. That's right, 93 of our senators voted to literally eviscerate what little rights were still protected after the Patriot Act was hastily pushed in the wake of the tragic events of September 11, 2001. The NDAA cuts Pentagon spending by $43 billion from last year's budget, a number so insignificant when compared to the $662 billion still officially allocated, it is almost laughable. The bill also contained an amendment which enacts strict new sanctions on Iran's central bank and any entities that do business with it, a move which will likely have brutal repercussions for the Iranian people, just like the sanctions on Iraq did. Not a single senator voted against this amendment, which was voted on soon after the entirety of S.1867 was passed, despite the hollow threats of a veto from the Obama White House. The article goes on to say, "Do not be deceived. S.1867 is the most dangerous bill since the Patriot Act, and S.1253 will allow indefinite military detention of American civilians without charge or trial." The fact that the corporate-controlled establishment media is barely covering this, if at all, is just another piece amongst the mountains of evidence showing that they are complicit in the criminal conspiracy that is dominating our government. Every single senator voted for this amendment is a traitor. It's that simple. So what I would like to do is to put up a slide and show you who the traitors were. The slide you are viewing now can be found at opencongress.org. The website is titled S.1867 National Defense Authorization Act for Fiscal Year 2012. It goes on to state that it's an original bill to authorize appropriations for fiscal year 2012 for military activities of the Department of Defense, for military construction, and for defense activities of the Department of Energy to prescribe military personnel strengths for such fiscal year and for other purposes. And I strongly recommend that you write down this website, opencongress.org, and view all of the 5 titles. Below there's a tab that says Overview. Next to it is Actions and Votes, News and Blogs, and also Comments. I feel it is very necessary at this time to remind you, the American public, that this is very important. And it is because I love my country and I give a damn, I wanted to share this with you. So I would now like to put the spotlight on the traitor who sponsored this bill solely, Senator Carl Levin of Michigan, Democrat. This bill was introduced on November 14th of 2011, and it passed rather quickly on November 30th, 2011. That's right, the bill was passed in a little more than 2 weeks and became a law. It would be a safe assumption on my part to say that Occupy Wall Street and Occupy DC had something to do with it. The slide you are now looking at is entitled Latest Vote. A votes were 93 in favor of this bill, and nay votes were 7. I'll now put up another slide for the opencongress.org vote 2011 for the S.1867. The vote was passed on December 1st, 2011, and 93 yeses. 48 Democrats voted for it, 44 Republicans voted for it, and there were 1 other independent who voted for it. So the next slide you'll be viewing is of the 48 Democrats who voted for it. Senator Daniel Akaka, Democrat, Hawaii. Senator Max Backus, Democrat, Montana. Senator Mark Begich, Democrat, Alaska. Senator Mark Bennett, Democrat, Colorado. Senator Jeff Bingaman, Democrat, New Mexico. Senator Jeff Blumenthal, Democrat, Connecticut. Senator Barbara Boxer, Democrat, California. Senator Sherrod Brown, Democrat, Ohio. Senator Maria Cantwell, Democrat, Washington. Senator Benjamin Cardin, Democrat, Maryland. Senator Thomas Carper, Democrat, Delaware. Senator Robert Casey, Democrat, Pennsylvania. Senator Kent Conrad, Democrat, North Dakota. Senator Rich Coons, Democrat, Delaware. Senator Richard Durbin, Democrat, Illinois. Senator Dianne Feinstein, Democrat, California. Senator Al Franken, Democrat, Minnesota. Senator Kristen Gillibrand, Democrat, New York. Senator Kay Hagan, Democrat, North Carolina. Senator Daniel Inouye, Democrat, Hawaii. Senator Tim Johnson, Democrat, South Dakota. Senator John Kerry, Democrat, Massachusetts. Senator Amy Klobuchar, Democrat, Minnesota. Senator Herbert Cole, Democrat, Wisconsin. Senator Mary Landrieu, Democrat, Louisiana. Senator Frank Lautenberg, Democrat, New Jersey. Senator Patrick Leahy, Democrat, Vermont. Senator Carl Levin, Democrat, Michigan. Senator Joe Manchin, Democrat, West Virginia. Senator Claire McCaskill, Democrat, Missouri. Senator Robert Menendez, Democrat, New Jersey. Senator Barbara Mikulski, Democrat, Maryland. Senator Pat Murray, Democrat, Washington. Senator Ben Nelson, Democrat, Nebraska. Senator Bill Nelson, Democrat, Florida. Senator Mark Pryor, Democrat, Arkansas. Senator John Reed, Democrat, Rhode Island. Senator Harry Reid, Democrat, Nevada. Senator John Rockefeller, Democrat, West Virginia. Senator Charles Schumer, Democrat, New York. Senator Jean Shaheen, Democrat, New Hampshire. Senator Debbie Ann Stabenow, Democrat, Michigan. Senator John Tester, Democrat, Montana. Senator Tom Udall, Democrat, New Mexico. Senator Mark Udall, Democrat, Colorado. Senator Mark Warner, Democrat, Virginia. Senator Jim Webb, Democrat, Virginia. Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, Democrat, Rhode Island. And that rounds out the list of the 48 Democrats who voted in favor of it. I will now put up a slide, opencongress.org vote 2011, and we will now check out the Republicans who voted in favor of it. There were 44 Republican senators who were in favor of this bill. So let's now click on the link and find out who the guilty parties were. Senator Lamar Alexander, Republican, Tennessee. Senator Kelly Ayotte, Republican, New Hampshire. Senator John Barrasso, Republican, Wyoming. Senator Ron Blunt, Republican, Missouri. Senator John Boozman, Republican, Arkansas. Senator Scott Brown, Republican, Massachusetts. Senator Richard Burr, Republican, North Carolina. Senator Saxby Chambliss, Republican, Georgia. Senator Daniel Coates, Republican, Indiana. Senator Thad Cochran, Republican, Missouri. Senator Susan Collins, Republican, Maine. Senator Bob Corker, Republican, Tennessee. Senator John Cornyn, Republican, Texas. Senator Michael Crapo, Republican, Idaho. Senator Jim DeMint, Republican, South Carolina. Senator Mike Enzi, Republican, Wyoming. Senator Lindsey Graham, Republican, South Carolina. Senator Charles Grassley, Republican, Iowa. Senator Orrin Hatch, Republican, Utah. Senator Dean Heller, Republican, Nevada. Senator John Hoeven, Republican, North Dakota. Senator Kay Hutchinson, Republican, Texas. Senator Jim Inhofe, Republican, Oklahoma. Senator John Isaacson, Republican, Georgia. Senator Mike Johans, Republican, Nebraska. Senator Ron Johnson, Republican, Wisconsin. Senator Mark Kirk, Republican, Illinois. Senator John Kyle, Republican, Arizona. Senator Richard Lugar, Republican, Indiana. Senator John McCain, Republican, Arizona. Senator Mitch McConnell, Republican, Kentucky. Senator Jerry Moran, Republican, Kansas. Senator Lisa Murkowski, Republican, Alaska. Senator Robert Portman, Republican, Ohio. Senator James Risch, Republican, Idaho. Senator Pat Roberts, Republican, Kansas. Senator Marco Rubio, Republican, Florida. Senator Jefferson Sessions, Republican, Alabama. Senator Richard Shelby, Republican, Alabama. Senator Olympia Snowe, Republican, Maine. Senator John Thune, Republican, South Dakota. Senator Patrick Toomey, Republican, Pennsylvania. Senator David Vitter, Republican, Louisiana. Senator Roger Wicker, Republican, Missouri. And this rounds off the list of 44 Republicans who voted for this new bill. So what I'd like to do now is put up a slide and find out who didn't vote for this bill at opencongress.org. The slide you're looking at now shows that 3 Democrats did not vote for the bill and 3 Republicans and 1 other. So let us look and find out now who had the courage as a Democrat to vote against this bill. Democrats with a conscience who voted against it was Senator Thomas Harkin, Democrat of Iowa, Senator Jeff Merkley, Democrat of Oregon, and Senator Ron Wyden, Democrat, Oregon. All voted against it. Gentlemen, you should be commended. We thank you. So once again, going back to opencongress.org on the vote, let's find out who the 3 Republicans were who voted against this. Senator Thomas Coburn, Republican, Oklahoma. Senator Mike Lee, Republican, Utah. And Senator Rand Paul, Republican of Kentucky. And you 3 gentlemen who voted against it should be commended as well. So there you have it, 48 Democrats in favor, 44 Republicans, and there was 1 other who I did not mention. And against this bill, there were 7 Democrats, 3 that I mentioned, and 3 Republicans, and 1 other that I did not mention. The 2 others that I did not mention is because I did not have their names at the time I created this video. So now that you've been aware of this severe situation, what can we do as Americans to fight back? We can start by putting the pressure on our congressmen and senators. We must march to Washington and stand strong. We must make our voices heard. We must contact the office of the Speaker of the House, John Boehner. And the slide I have now before you is at speaker.gov, and this is the Speaker of the House, John Boehner's site. And it is John Boehner that we must contact in order to make these changes happen immediately. So now let's click on the Contact tab. Here you see another page listing all the information to contact John Boehner. Office of the Speaker, H-232, the Capitol, Washington, D.C., 20515. The phone number there is area code 202-225-0600, and the fax number is 202-225-5117. And in closing, I would like to direct my message to you, John Boehner, Speaker of the House. John, this revolution will not be televised. The way I see it, John, you are now at choice point. You will soon be faced with a major decision. The American people are coming to Washington in thousands, maybe millions, to demand a new 28th Amendment to repeal all the laws that have been enacted without the consent of the American people. And in closing, I hope you, the American people, take my warning very seriously. Stop watching that boob tube, listening to the news. Unplug. Tune into what's really going on and happening. Talk to your friends, talk to your neighbors, and get started and get moving in the right direction, because time is growing very, very short. And lastly, this message is to all the senators who voted in favor of this bill. Black Friday was one of the biggest shopping days for guns in this country. A word to the wise should be sufficient. I'd like to thank everyone for watching. This war will not be televised.